What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from MTG headquarters, and with the Aether Revolt pre-release coming up in January, it's time to start thinking about how you're going to crush all of the dreams at the event. And I figured, why not do like a real-time point of view kind of dry run of a pre-release. So when you arrive at pre-release, you're going to get a pre-release kit. Now, I don't have the Aether Revolt one because, you know, wizards and all that. But I happen to have this one, an Oath of the Gatewatch pre-release kit. And you will receive something very similar. Now, sometimes when it's the second set, you'll get a couple packs from... So in this time, you'll probably get a couple packs of Aether Revolt and a couple packs of Kaladesh. When it's the first set in a block, you'll get 6 packs. The other things I always remember to have with me is some sleeves, if you want to play with them, some die, and a pen or a pencil. If you want to go next level, and if you have the money to have some extra sleeves, you can do what I do and pre-sleeve your lands. What's great about pre-sleeving your lands, especially if you go to like a GP or something like that, is you give yourself a competitive advantage not having to wait in line while everyone else is fighting over getting the lands from the land box. And if your LGS is anything like mine, there may only be like one container of lands in a massive line, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, they're out of swamps, or oh no, we need more plains. Whatever the case may be, you can waste a lot of time from deck building waiting to get your lands. So that is probably the single best thing you can do. You'll get your deck, you'll sit, and you'll wait anxiously to open it until the TO or your local game store judge or whatever will say, okay, everyone, open the packs. So the first thing you're going to do, open your packs, and you usually get a promo. So you're going to look at, oh, which promo did I get? Okay, so we're going to open this. What do we get? Call the Gatewatch. Terrible, awful promo to get. The promos are important. Oh, you also get a spin down, by the way, which just flew out, but time is of the essence at pre-release, so you can't worry about stuff like that. Well, maybe pick up your garbage. Don't do that at your local game store. Here you'll see we get 2 packs of Battle for Zendikar and 4 packs of Oath of the Gatewatch. I would suspect something similar for Aether Revolt. You also get a divider, and the box they give you, if you don't throw it on the ground, serves as a mediocre deck box, at least for the event. There's one piece of advice one reason I don't like using this is because everybody uses these, and you set it down, and then you can pick up the wrong one. So if you can bring your own deck box, I would, but, I mean, that's a nitpicky thing. Or you could write your name on it or something like that if you had a Sharpie. You know, you could write it right on top here. Let's say, you know, you want to make sure everyone knows who the winner is. You write that on there. Then you're going to want to get to your packs. So the clock is starting. So first of all, let me talk to you why this is important. Oftentimes, it's like an extra rare, right? So if you're in white, it's like, oh, great, another rare on color, right? Oftentimes, some of the, at least with sealed, some of the best decks just have bomb after bomb after bomb. Now, this one stinks. But next thing you want to do is, as quickly and cleanly as possible, open your packs. This is what I do. Take these out, separate the rare, go to the next pack. Eldrazi Displacer, that's pretty good. Take these out. Pull the rare. Oh, Thought-Knots here. Oh, boy. We're going to be wrecking some face at this pre-release. Get the land out. Oh, my God. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure we're playing red-white. But you can see what's happening here. This might be pretty... Yeah, here's the Eldrazi Obligator. Okay, so red-white. We have 4 on-color rares currently. This is what you might call an insane pool. Another on-color rare. Now, I don't know if I would play all these yet. That's not what we're doing right now. What I like to do is separate out my rares. And I know this seems amateur, but another on... Oh, my God. This might be the best pre-release pool in history. I mean, are you kidding me? We have, if we play red-white, which of course we're playing red-white with this pool, we have 6 on-color rares. We will play Thought-Knots here, of course, and Eldrazi Displacer. So the next thing, well, thank goodness this pool is so bananas. Also, we have Oath of the Gatewatch, which we might actually play because it will be a second copy of Chandra, maybe. Then what I do is after I kind of, the rares don't mean everything, but if you're new, it's where I start. Then the next thing I do is color sort. And I find the fastest way to do it is to just pull out the one color at a time. I'm not going to color sort everything, but let's just pretend. And then we're going to take out, in this particular case, we know we're going to need wastes or other lands. So we'll take these out. In fact, well, no, I don't want to shortcut it, even though I'm literally in pre-release mode because I'm like, okay, I'm playing red-white, obviously. But let's pretend everything's kind of color sorted. You have everything in piles. What's nice about doing this is we'll get some faux piles here. Well, not really faux piles, but you get all your piles, and then what this lets you do is lets you kind of realize where your good cards are. Sometimes it just comes down to sheer numbers. Like, Stasis Snare too. Good Lord. This is a very easily a pre-release pool that could win the whole event. There's no doubt in my mind. It doesn't mean I would, but this pool is bananas. You get everything sorted, okay? Then you look at everything, and you're like, okay, well, what cards do I have the most of? Maybe you I only have 2 red cards, and maybe or 2 green cards or something. I may be overgeneralizing here, but odds are, unless they're splash worthy, you can pretty much roll out playing green. What I do is, deck building is part knowing the synergies and knowing what goes together, finding your bombs, but it's also about maximizing your time, especially in a competitive event. I mean, if this were my final pool, and I have all these white cards and green cards and blue cards, and let's say only 2 black and 4 red, it's very likely that I'm not going to be playing these colors, right? So it's about max being efficient with your time. Oh, Devour in Flames. Yeah, so let's fast forward because I can already tell you I'm playing red-white. So let's just go that way. Sometimes sometimes you're lucky and the pool just builds itself, so to speak. And so I'm just going to pull out all the red-white cards here, or cards that... Oh, Relief Captain too? Good Lord. This pool, Unknown Shores we would play. Okay. So now I've picked my colors. Well, we don't need Tranquil Expanse. Once you've decided, hey, these are the colors I'm going to go in, 2, maybe 3, you're very unlikely to play monocolor. But then what I'll do is sort by converted mana cost. So we have 6, 7, 4. We have a lot of 6 drops, but then we also have some nice low end, a couple 3 drops. And here's important for this deck. We need colorless mana, waste mana. So we need that. And maybe I might even play 2 wastes that I opened in my pool. Now, in the case of Battle for Zendikar, you can't get waste from the land pool. You can only play with what you happen to open. Now, this is an older format, obviously, but you get the idea. If you want to sort everything, here we have a bunch of 2 drops. And with pre-release, you kind of want a really nice... sometimes you can find a card that you know you're not going to play, you move it to the side. But with pre-release, you want to have a decent amount of early game because you don't want to get blown out. And then you also want to make sure that you've got something to do in the late game because it's pre-release and that's going to happen. So, I mean, here I have kind of everything laid out. And then I want to look at maybe artifacts. Are there any artifacts I want to play? Rune Processor would be great if I had anything to ingest, but I'm not, so that can come out. Bone Saw, that doesn't really fit in this deck. Spawning Bed, this doesn't really fit in this deck. I know I'm going fast, but hopefully you can see my process. So then I'll look at, okay, once I've determined what's what, I look at, well, how many playables do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Bam! Got it within 1 card. So, and I can already tell you very easily, I'll probably cut Kazul's Toll Collector. And there's my deck. Now, you could play with it, right? Because tandem tactics, maybe you don't need. But But what we have here is a very aggressive early game with a bunch of 2-drops, okay? A bunch of them. Let me move them over so you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops. And then we have very aggressive 3-drops in the Eldrazi Displacer, Eldrazi Obligator, Core Scythemaster, Devour in Flames. We have nice removal. You want to make sure you have some removal. Now, this deck definitely is light on removal. Maybe I don't play 2 Shatterskull Recruits either. Maybe I want to play something else. But, again, this is trying to be very basic. But you want a nice curve. You want some removal. Now, I don't have much of it other than Stasis Snare and Devour in Flames. So going into it, well, Eldrazi Displacer too might be fun to work with, especially if you have some Enter the Battlefield stuff or things like that. But what we do have here is a very aggressive build, and you kind of figure out what the heck my deck is. And we just smash face here. We win with Chandra, Akorum Hellkite, or Emeria Shepherd. We have, 2 6 and 7 drops, 2 6 and 1 7 drop. I probably wouldn't play that much in a draft. If I had more options, maybe I wouldn't play so many 5 drops. Play some more 4 drops. Like if this were a 4 drop, that would be a little better probably. But keeping your pool in mind. Now, when I'm picking my mana, I know there are scientific ways to do it, and that's better than how I do it. But I kind of just look at, okay, double mana symbols, all right? I've got double red, 1 double white. And since we're playing some waste, and we're playing an Unknown Shores, so fixing can be helpful. So an Unknown Shores will help us clear up that double if we have to later. So in this case, I would play 17 lands, but 16, 15, 14, because I'm playing 2 wastes and an Unknown Shores. So it'll be 7 and 7, but I would go 8 red mana, 6 white mana. And maybe you could play 1 less waste mana. Maybe you play... This is the stuff you want to kind of pre-shuffle. Then once I kind of get my deck, I immediately pull my lands out of my pre-sleeved lands, sleeve up my deck, shuffle it up, do a couple test hands, and then look at, basically your entire sideboard. So in a pre-release event, everything you open is in your sideboard. So maybe you look at this and you're like, well, what if I have a problem with fires? Actually, I didn't count Expedition Envoy. I would definitely cut like a Cinder Helion or an Ondu, not an Ondu Champion, but something. I wouldn't mind a low curve because Relief Captain on turn 4 will be destructive. Then you want to look at the leftover cards and kind of decide, well, which cards do I want to put aside? Is there something that's suboptimal, but maybe it could deal with a flyer? That doesn't seem good. Spawning Bed doesn't really seem good. Maybe you need some more tricks, so you want to put that near the top. You want to be able to make deck changes in between games. Now, remember, if it's competitive Ariel, to put your deck back to the original 40 or 41 or however many you're playing between every game. Now, Goblin Freerunner is pretty good. Maybe I do want to play that. I skipped that. So anyway, here's your sideboard. You try to build the best deck you can, and then you keep the sideboard cards near the top. Usually what I do is the cards I know I just can't play will go way in the back, and then I'll put them behind. Okay, here's the maybe some possible sideboard cards. Put those in front. Put the junk behind. And then I'll put my sleeve deck right there. And then put it in the deck box. Then you're ready to rock. You've got your dice. You've got you're already pretend sleeved. And you're ready to have fun. And because you've brought your pre-sleeved lands, you have 5, maybe 10 minutes to just chill and think about how you want to play your deck. Shuffle it up real nice. One thing I like to do is definitely pile shuffle with 7 piles. So you'll do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Keep going like that. Pick them up, shuffle them. Do it again. Pick them up, shuffle them. Do it again. Pick them up, shuffle them. Get them shuffled really good. Because in my experience, a lot of people lose game 1 in pre-release. Here's a common way I see people lose. I'm sitting at the table waiting. My lands have been pre-sleeved. I'm already thinking about how glorious the victory is going to be. They sit down, they're like, whew, just finished my deck. Okay, they present the deck to me. Okay, I just cut it. I'm not going to shuffle it for them. And what happens? Well, to 3 because all their lands are in a pile. Or they have all their lands on top or they have all their lands on the bottom. So make sure you really take the time to shuffle your deck before you play that first game. And also remember, pre-release is supposed to be about fun. So if you want to win, just go with the mindset of getting to open some of the new set and going to have some fun. Me, I'm a casual tryhard, so it's hard for me just to be like, I went 0-3 drop. But there's lots of different ways to win at pre-release, right? I've gone to pre-release and 0-2 dropped and opened a $40 card, and I'm like, at least I paid for pre-release. Or, hey, I met a new friend. Or I met some friends of the channel. Or sometimes I open a junk pool and I go 4-0 and I win 12 packs. So there's, my LGS also does giveaways and like raffles. And so there's a million different ways to enjoy pre-release, just like there's a million different ways to enjoy Magic the Gathering. I hope that this kind of hectic preview will help hopefully you can pick up some tips. And if you have some of your own, share them in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.